I'm just curious. Can you tell where I am on the map? Honestly, for me, I think the sounds give it away. Yeah. You should all know where we are by now. Wow. See, that's so weird to me, Rainbow, because for me it's like it's very, very rare that there's a place on the map that I don't know exactly where it is when I see it. I think the only places that really will happen are some really obscure places up in here maybe, and just right in here where a lot of stuff looks the same. But almost everywhere else, I'm gonna know exactly where something is. Interesting. I mean, I know I definitely learn things better if I do it myself, so doesn't not make sense, right? How wanted is Ruby now? I don't know. Pretty wanted, though. She's pretty wanted. I mostly memorize trees in different areas, so I have a general idea where a person is on the map. Yes, there's definitely different flora and fauna. But there's a lot of audio cues. Valentine has these like morning doves, like hoo 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 hoo, and random horse whinnies. So I've got an interesting job tonight. Oh, Harris?
Your donkey's huge.
It's a really big donkey.
Oh my buddy, oh my god.
But I didn't know if you would enjoy a black shire.
Sorry.
Is that a guess or?
They are beautiful horses.
So I've heard you have the opinion
What
on.
about your donkey growing
Yeah,
so
but they're
much?
No.
scared of everything.
It gotta be all the love you give them or something like that, you know. That they say that if you love plants, they grow real big. I wonder if that works with donkeys too.
Oh my goodness, so many people. One of the companies my security guard job works for fired a guy, and he threatened the one who told him, so I'm sitting at her house for the next 10 hours. Oh my goodness. People are so disgusting. What a loser that guy is. An absolute loser. Like, clearly there's a reason he was fired if he's that much of a lunatic. Well, stay safe, Harris. I'm sure it was just him talking big and tough, but it's a good thing they're not taking risks. too. It's okay. I should go down and see how the boards are in Armadillo. I have glass class tomorrow. Gonna start on a new project. Well, there's a reason it's an armed security job. Yeah, yeah. Yep. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, it could be empty threats, you know, 99 out of 100 times. It just takes that one time. How'd my first project go? I thought I posted it. Hang on, I'll post it in the Discord. Let's see. Okay, it's uploading to the Discord now. And art stuffs. Cutting the glass can be a bit hard because you have to push the tool along and then hope that it doesn't break a way you don't want it to. But I think it's fun. It's a lot easier to do than you'd think. It's time consuming. The glass is expensive and it's really cool. And now I have family members who are like, oh yeah, I did that, and have stuff to give me, which is really exciting. Getting free glass is really exciting because it's so expensive. And anyone else like some tea? Yeah, the other pictures I posted were probably at night during glass class, so you wouldn't have seen daylight going through it. Oh, this one's nicer. Yeah, I feel like I only aggroed half the pack. There's probably more over there. Listen, we all don't have chronic wildlife problems like you do, O'Neill. Yeah, it was cool because some of that is some glass I purchased off of Amazon for pretty cheap. but the rest of it is all glass scraps that I found in the shop, because they have, you know, they have lots of artists and they're working and stuff, and there's a bunch of funny little pieces, and so they stick them into boxes sorted by color. So I was able to go through them and find some pieces just big enough to do the little ones in my project. Like the one I'm holding it by is a semi-opaque piece, but it's a really interesting piece of glass. Like if you see it with light on it, it's got sparkles through it and swirls, and this is really cool. It's like a really expensive, fancy artisan piece of glass, but it's just a little scrap that I got. And I did test, the latest piece has some really, really limey green veins going through it. I did test it to see if there was any uranium glass. Unfortunately, no, but would have been cool. AKA, I shined a black light at it, and no, it did not glow. I find it so odd that basically melted sand is so expensive. Yeah, and then you hear that that we're gonna be experiencing a sand shortage. It's the right type of sand. How are you feeling today? I'm okay. I'm still like tireder than I should be generally. And I definitely still have like head cold stuff going on, which is not ideal. It's Lynn. Why you gotta be down here, Lynn? Do not bino me, Lynn. He definitely binoed me. Sure, don't bino the person with the stars. Oh, he's walking over here. If he comes over here, I'm holding him up.
I see you're hunting. Just letting you know there's potentially going to be some shots ringing out to the north there. Just some deputies talking to some folks, and well, we'll see how it goes. But if you could stay away from that area for now, you'd probably be best off.
Sounds good.
You're doing okay there, yeah?
Yeah. Leave me alone. Alright,
I'm glad to hear you're doing okay.
If I run away, it's suspicious. He thinks of area, though. It's fine. Wonder what's happening to the north. Just talking to some folks over in the north. Lynn, do not follow me. If anything, this disguise is busted, at least for him. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we need to change and grab a different horse. I can hear him trying not to laugh too, of course. Really? Okay. If you can kill a herd of those, it's $30 because their skins are worth $10 each. If they're perfect. So one hits with the bolt. I don't understand why they do that. They don't go down. I mean, I don't even want to bother with it because it's not going to be perfect. It's like above it. It's so annoying. can't believe Lynn. Of course I can. He's nosy. He's, you know what he is? He is cash level nosy is what he is. Cash level nosy. I'll still say Cash did a lot more of like letting you know that he knows, but not necessarily doing anything about it right away. Thing about Cash, though, he'd be in the room, you'd never know it. He had incognito down to an art. Oh, he was evil. He did that, apparently. Apparently, he sat pretending to be an NPC drinking its beer at the tables in Van Horn, in the Van Horn Saloon. Like the heart of Summer's empire. He did that. There's wolves outside. Oh, they're chewing on the yeah, it's because it was doing the constant like ripping shredding animation on her, but she's immortal. To change horses too. Oh, I'm sure he did it more than once. I mean, if it works, why wouldn't you keep doing it? No. Why? Using carcass as bait for birds? Yes. In fact, I think it might have spawned that one as I turned around. Yeah, I shot the wolf twice, so it wasn't worth it to sell it to the butcher. I figured I could at least use it as bird bait. The blood on the white horse looks good. Really? I thought I saw it land by rocks. There it is. Thing is, the carcass often only attracts ravens, which are pretty useless. And also don't die.
A horse like that would sure bring in a pretty penny.
You like this wastelander look? I like it. Lynn calling me Arya was pretty funny though. thought he was being so clever. Just a bird harvest out here, man. Curious if the situation wasn't happening, if you would have gotten one or two more and chased you, maybe. I think he would have chased me on his own. Really? Y'all just gonna keep on running after getting shot. So annoying. Oh, that makes me so mad when they just get up and keep running as fast as they were going before, or faster. Still wearing. So today I got out of my car for my first dog walk, and it was just like much colder than I was expecting it to be. So I I looked at my back seat, and I remembered I had some like things that I thought were leg warmers because I bought them for when I was working at the nursery outside in the winter. And so I pulled them out and I put them on my ankles, and it wasn't quite wide enough at one point, so I just kind of pulled the thread that was holding it together. And then once I had them over my ankles and they looked like proper nice slouchy leg warmers, I realized that they had thumb holes because they were actually sleeveless or fingerless gloves. Long sleevey fingerless gloves for when I was super cold working in the office at the nursery. But I'm still wearing them. And they are now leg warmers. My ankles were cold. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there was an inch of ankle exposed between my socks and my pants, and it was just too much for me. So I made a solution. Ah, okay. That's annoying. Yes, I know. I just realized that. So annoying. It was just funny, you know? That's one of my favorite camps in the map. Although I still wish, and I still would love to see, a server just get rid of all the little camps and stuff on the map. Like, I don't want to see them. Because there's so many places you're like, oh, this is a nice camp. But it's 3 half-broken tents and a bunch of trash, you know? And just let players put down their own tents wherever they want to. Kind of like how we put down crates and stuff. It'd just be so much better. I hate going through super rural areas and just seeing a bunch of lanterns glowing in the trees because there's a bunch of random weird camps that are completely abandoned, full of stuff, completely abandoned, and have lit lanterns at them. Drives me crazy. Seriously? Only when it doesn't matter, guys. Only when it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was gonna avoid bringing up the gravestones, but yeah, the gravestones. If the gravestones could be in graveyards and not polluting the pristine areas of the game, that would be great. Just because the map, you know, it's big, but it's not that big. I want the wilderness to feel more like wilderness, for the most part. Oh my goodness, I run into whatever invisible thing is there so many times. A lot of people. And a man with a gun out. Is he walking towards me with the gun out? That is. Ugh, I need to buy a lasso. TeamSpeak's fine. I'm just not very close to anyone. No, TeamSpeak's fine. Did Axe? Ah, my voice breaks. Thanks for the raid. No, I just got one. I was about to say, oh, I got two. Two. Yep, the Rangers are great. They save out all our butts. Ow. Pretty sure anyways. Nope. Okay, Torch. Okay. Snakes. I don't think this will be good. These things are stupid. They don't run very far. Okay. flight pattern just looks like a raven. Yeah, the cactus, like, obviously you can kind of avoid it, you know, the clumps of them, but you can't truly avoid it like a human would. You're like, I move around the paddles. Imagine the day, though, when there's a game where you can really do refined, nuanced human movements with your characters. If Ruby got the hunting rifle out of the gun box, do you think you would keep it? The Springfield? Probably not, but they're also not worth that much. They're only one shot and they're weird. I'm personally not a very big fan. Waiting for Lynn to pop around the corner. Hey, Ruby, let's have a chat. Why do they gotta be like this? So upsetting. That's the kind of stuff I was always afraid of with Cash, though, Harris. Because Cash would do that. He'd hide in bushes and then arrest people. He'd just pop out of the bushes and hold them up. It's always terrifying. Stupid goats. Sheep. They're everywhere. But not the pronghorn when you need them. Yeah, I was saying it earlier. Cash did evil. He'd also ride by like a local, but he'd be on his regular foxtrotter. So I saw him a few times in Holly. I was like, "Is that's not a local going through here?" And he would just keep going at, like, that pace locals go out on the road, just like that. He would just go through Van Horn like that. That's how I prefer it with solo crims or less gang-oriented ones anyways. Yeah, well that was back in the day where you could only have 32 players on the server at once. And sometimes that meant that there was only 3 law. Yeah, unfortunately that would mean that there might be a dozen players, a dozen criminal players hanging out in or around or near Van Horn, too. That's why the horse Lola rides is one she rides, because it looks like the local horses, though sadly don't see women riding horses around, but she mimicked the outfit of the local in Rhodes that sits outside the bank. Yeah, I found there's a local in Blackwater. There's a local in Blackwater that will sometimes stand outside the windows of the general store and look inside, or stand inside the saloon, and you can actually mimic her outfit. But the problem with the female NPCs is they have very specific walk styles that you can't mimic. Like, you can slow walk, but I don't think you can actually mimic. I don't think you can actually mimic those walk styles. Which is really annoying. There's just one. Instead of the ride into a group of 6 just randomly decided that the lone rider minding their business needs to be chased down. Yes, I hate that so much. When you're just alone minding your own business and they all have to come up to you and ask who you are and what you're doing. Unfortunately, what crime have I committed? I don't have to identify myself if I'm not committing a crime. Doesn't work here. But it doesn't work in 23 states IRL, so it's fine. Hopefully Rockstar has learned from RP servers that the females in their games need work for that reason. You would hope so, but I doubt it. I kind of doubt it. Although, isn't the new GTA 6 supposed to have a female protagonist, so maybe stuff will be... I don't know. Unfortunately, I think that'll just mean that stuff is dedicated to being eye candy for the dudes playing her, but... Get so many criminals asking me what crimes I do, or am I a civ? Yeah, well, people get, you know, they want the fresh blood. so to speak, O'Neill. People are looking, who's new? Who can I roll into my group? You know, who's not looking to get into a specific group, but is here trying to make their own way. So that's exciting for people, and they're gonna try and snag you. Oh, I ordered my tent cot today. That's exciting. It's expensive, so I'm definitely going to have to pull it out and like test it out to decide if it's something I want to keep. At this point, who knows anymore? Rockstar isn't really broadcasting the intent. Well, I mean, they might not be broadcasting the intent, but it's pretty clear what their demographic caters to, you know? Red Dead has a much higher ratio of female players solely because it's one of the best horse it is the best horse game out there, even though it's not a horse sim. Just if they had made more realistic and period appropriate outfits for females, be so cool. I would love to have better skirts and skirts that look better while they're on horses. They don't, because they were never intended to be worn on horses. They just kind of threw that in later for online, pretty much. It's getting light out again. You can get that last antelope. Oh, there's one right... Nope, the goat. Piggy. Oh, man. Again, if they're smart, they would pick that up and run with it. But with how Red Dead stands now, I'm not exactly hopeful. Yeah, I don't expect them to do that. But yeah, they could really... Yeah, I see you too, buddy. That's a horse. I'm gonna say, oh, it's a rock pronghorn. It's a horse pronghorn. You ever been hunting IRL? You'll find that there are many different versions of the IRL animals that you may or may not be hunting. in my area, those include, you know, if you're looking for grouse, you will see rock grouse, stump grouse, branch grouse, funny looking patch of dirt grouse. Same with stump bears, rock bears, log bears. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you have your regular bears. You just got your stump deer and your rock deer. Dead patch of grass deer. I mean, the whole RP Twitch week they sponsored and buying CFX shows they see the potential at the very least. Yeah, maybe. Though with that, I am concerned how much they plan to nickel and dime it all. Because you know they will. My hope is that they still allow RP servers to have a lot of creative freedom, but they provide a more of a sandbox for them to do stuff. As opposed to making it so like, here's our Rockstar branded RP server. If you want to have outfits and vehicles or horses, you have to pay real money for each piece. You know, that like that's what I'm afraid of, right? So I'm hoping that they still allow basically that they open it up for creators to sandbox with what they have a bit more. And then just like charge a fee for people to connect to RP servers or something. Not a huge fee, but I don't know. Like, obviously, they need to be able to monetize it somehow if they're gonna support servers for it. I just don't want the creative freedom to be taken away. You know, like, if you want a server where everyone can get on and get a nice horse from the get-go, that'd be nice, as opposed to, you know, it being something where you have to nickel and dime for every little gain. Like what they did with Ark, can mod the heck out of them, just had to rent the server. Yeah, I would hope something more like that would be great. Like, use our assets, build your own. Follow a, you know, a TOS. Which could, you know, work because people are already renting servers, right? It just, who are they renting them from? That'd be a bad move on their part overall. At most, they would crack down on copyright material like brand names and so forth. What would be a bad move? Nickel and diming everyone? I mean, I don't know. I know the thing that they're talking about doing now, not necessarily Rockstar, but generally I've been hearing about, is making it so you never own your games. You just rent the game, and then you get to pay to play it. Which I hate with every fiber of my being. I'm not gonna own nothing and be happy.
That won't help much with dust around here. It gets through everything.
What have you missed? Nothing. Other than a minor interaction where I was OOC yelling at Lynn to leave me alone. That was pretty funny. Yep, and I hope the companies that try it never sell another game afterwards. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna play your games if that's the case. Did he go in there and pull his gun? He walked in there and pulled his gun. I think he's paranoid, whoever that is. To be fair, that's a thing you would do too. Yeah, but I probably wouldn't actually pull the gun until... Hang on. Well, Tahoma is dead, guys. That's very unfortunate. Speaking of RedM and all that stuff and the effect that CFX being bought out had, bye-bye Tahoma. Yeah, they just made an announcement to shut it down. That's such a bummer. Yeah. Techman basically said, with that in mind, unfortunately I have some bad news. I would no longer be continuing with RedM development for the foreseeable future, and this project is being put on indefinite hold. There are many factors leading to this, both personal and directly with CFX/RedM. It certainly isn't a sudden decision, though I've very much been trying to work around all the factors leading me here. I don't want to discourage anyone else too much, so I'm not going to dive too deep into the weeds. However, I'll just note that many of you may be aware of the discussions I've had in relation to Rockstar, its acquisition of CFX, and the prospects for RedM, at least in the medium term. Recently, it hasn't gotten better, unfortunately, and the lead RedM dev is now primarily focused on 5M, at least for the time being. The lead 5M dev was fired from Rockstar. This Discord and all relevant project resources are being put into an archive state and will not be deleted in case there comes a time that it makes sense for it to be resurrected by myself or others. We will be notifying followers on our Twitter as well. No, that's not it for RedM. But there is a server that I was really excited to be a part of, and I've been waiting for them to release for about a year. You know, kind of like that's where I plan to do my next big Red Dead stories, and they just shut down their project. In part because of the changes and stuff going on with RedM. No, I think if the door was closing on RedM, then I think we'd have a ping from Wild West and Wild and everything associated with it. Because that would be, but you know, it could always happen. We don't know. This could all be gone tomorrow. Ah, that's such a bummer, though. Really was. So bummed out. But the dev who was working on Tahoma 1895, they're the ones who came, like, the reason that we can tint all our clothes different, you know, whatever colors we want, that's because of the stuff that he did. The exploding walls for the dynamite in the sheriff's offices for people to do breakouts. That's his work. That's stuff that he found in the game. Probably, folk. And I know for a fact because I tested on the server and stuff, that they could take pretty much any horse and do similar to the clothing sliders, pretty much any color. Most of the coat patterns, most of the colors, same with manes and tails, they can do all that tinting custom. There's also custom horses, they could change the sizes, so you could make a Morgan that wasn't super microscopic. That was really cool. They also added all the NPC clothing so that you could access it and use it if you wanted to. It just would need to be sorted out by people. Usually you can sort that stuff using kind of spreadsheets. I think that's actually too high up to get a clean shot on because our guns are so underpowered. Oh, they're not, but it's just a vulture, I think. And it's in the water. No, you know, overall the sun could be setting on RedM servers. I mean, Wild is by far, or was by far, one of the most popular ones, and right now they're struggling to pay their server costs. Aw, poor puppy, I'm sorry. I just looked over into the picture of my my stained glass, and I realized just like the skull staring in the background. I know, and that was one of my original reasons for going and playing cop on NoPixel, was I wanted to kind of get my foot in the door for when they did open up a Red Dead server. I unfortunately am not an influential person that can get stuff moving on things like that, though. Although I don't know if I would enjoy Red Dead done in NoPixel style, except for, you know, like the way 4.0 is going. It's just too grindy. Like, the grind for wagons is bad enough here, but it's, at least the grinding is pretty enjoyable stuff, you know? You can make decent money riding around and hunting, and it's generally fun to do. I'm going to sell those, it's fine. Well, one of their devs never stopped working on it. I know that as much. Yeah, I have no idea. Who knows? Maybe the announcement will prompt someone to be like, hey, I'd love to pick up where you left off. And they'll have success. But I'm gonna expect the worst, because that's usually how things turn out anyways. a lot of people potentially inside the barber shop there. There have been a few good server attempts I've seen, but the staying power is not there, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, I could look back in a TRP or something, but I don't think they've had very good numbers. Because obviously you want the potential and quality of a server combined with population and good moderation, good rule sets. It's hard to find that combination. I have no idea. I haven't looked at it for a while. What? Oh. Okay, I saw the blood. It should bleed. Okay. Oh, the bleed out animations are sad. In RDO, or single player for that matter, if you let an animal bleed out, you get bad honor. You know, you get negative honor. But if you mercy kill it, it destroys the pelt. However, if all you do is you make sure that it's not visible on your screen when it bleeds out, then you're fine. You don't get the negative. That's where Ralph and the Pabby girl that the hats beat up come from. Oh, really? I don't know where.
Have we met before, sir? What's your name?
I don't believe we have. I'm Deputy Leon Williams.
Deputy Leon Williams.
That's correct.
I would have remembered you if we met. That's a very regal name. That sounds like royalty.
I appreciate that. Do you mind if I talk?
Huh? What? We're talking you and me right now.
I would much rather talk to the individual inside.
I never get honor when I played the story. I was a heathen. I can't. In my opinion, the story mode is meant to be played like you're a dirtbag until one point, and then you turn it around after a certain point. And if you played it, you know which point that is. The interactions and choices that Arthur's faced with kind of play into that, and they work really well. It's called Red Dead Redemption, after all. Is this poor, really? That's so lame. I don't know what group that is they're having a little standoff with. Unless you fish a ton and throw the fish back, there's a tip for you. You go around being friendly to everyone and tipping your hat. It's just the AI make it so hard to play a good guy. I didn't have a hard time. First time I played Red Dead, I would do dishonorable acts, and my friend would warn me to stop eventually. I learned why he kept warning me. Well, they are all posted up. For the very few hours I played, I got randomly shot at for riding by. Not kidding, just drove by and got wanted because an NPC shot at me. Yep. No, I know. I used to play this when they didn't have the aggro super turned down on locals, and locals would just come running after you and kill you for no reason all the time. It was very annoying. Is that McGregor? I think it might be. Martial law, martial law. Such a shame that voices don't carry far. I'm honestly surprised nobody's tried to make their own clone of Red Dead just to bypass Rockstar's lack of work yet. Honestly, I'm sure there's something that's Unreal Engine based, but it's just not gonna look as good. Oh my goodness, there are so many people over there. What is happening? Going after them. Okay. Sergeant O'Neill, thank you for the gifted sub. Yeah, maybe. Wasn't that bad. That's a good one, but I don't want to have to dig for potatoes. 192 divided by 3. Not 30. 6.4. It's pretty good, actually. Oh my goodness, why? What I'm trying to do. Okay. I don't know. I just don't even know what to do. I feel bad. That is not what I was looking at. Okay. Oh man, sorry. I really wonder how wanted we are. It's gotta be pretty bad. It's gotta be 2 banks. Lots of shootouts. Breakout. Over 9,000? I don't think so. That would be ridiculous. We'd have to, like, be going around trying to murder people. Ah. You know Lynn would love to have the talk. Yeah, except for I'm not actively, I don't want to turn myself in, although technically right now would be a good time to do it because tomorrow I have glass class. But you know, right after that, in fact probably Wednesday, people are probably gonna want to rob a bank again, and so I wouldn't be unwanted for very long at all. You know? It's like, but there's a good chance I am at or very close to OOC days. Like 2 of them, at least, if not 3. Not really sure how they calculate out these days. I know they've tamed it down quite a bit.
Cow lady approaching us.
Cow directed.
You can't say that to a lady. Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I swear to God, I was about to mention the Milky Hole.
I did just sell milk, so.
None of you have heard of the Milky Hole. In Valentine's.
How do you Clay, you've been so immature right now.
Oh shit! I didn't even recognize you. Hello. It has been.
When is he gonna be going away until at least the 21st if she gets caught?
And then I left.
Hell is.
Come to find out the same day she got robbed for mixing milk and moonshine.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
I think Yek is going for a record on Firebird. Colby was told that she's looking at yesterday. So getting caught wouldn't necessarily be bad tonight. No, but I'd prefer not to.
One of the first people that ever trained me with it, actually. A long time ago. God, that must have been, what, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, it was
Just because I hate getting out only to be wanted immediately again.
But he's about to retire. Head out.
I'd rather it just be really serious for longer. No! Ugh, that's super annoying.
Oh, you're one of the few people that remember who some of the oldest rangers were.
Howdy
Roy
then.
and
Hi.
Buzz and Rye. It's very odd for me.
Oh, Roy. God, I still miss Roy every day. One of my absolute best friends.
Yeah, just for a lot of reasons, I don't like getting immediately wanted after I get wanted. It just feels funny for pacing. Hey, okay, see ya, Stardays. I accidentally ate a flower. It's those ones I was picking down at Fort Mercer. They're commonly wanted at Painted Sky and a few other places. And in bundles of 5. Well, I had 15. I ate one of them instead of splitting the bundle. So I'm just annoyed with myself. I think a large reason you end up wanted is you're around more than the others, or they haven't been caught yet and you help them. Yeah, I'm not like particularly wanted or anything. It's just I mean, most of us are usually wanted. They get caught more often than I do though. Like Lola and Norman, I often go to bed and they immediately get caught. It's kind of funny. But yeah, they all have their lawmen to play also. So I'm often riding around alone. Okay. I do wish I could motivate a creepy wanderer character that kidnaps people, though. Oh, it'd be so much fun. I'm so bad at it. I was thinking something that'd be good would be some kind of weird person that wanders around, and when I find downed people, I kidnap them, take them somewhere, and nurse them to health and just be creepy somehow. But I'd still have to figure out how to do that, and also then you're very restricted to just waiting to see if someone gets picked up. Although it could always be the hunter that takes people out and tries to get them incapped by wildlife. That could be pretty entertaining. That's actually plant bait and advertise hunting trips and stuff. But what's my motivation? Why would I do that? That's the question. Sometimes I can think of the thing to do, but what's my motivation? Why would I do that? What's the twisted logic that would get me to that point? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'd have to not get myself killed by wildlife also. Just so much that goes into it. Motivation, you want to hunt more interesting prey. So I get them incapacitated by wildlife, and then I take them somewhere and I do the whole now I'm gonna hunt you thing. It just seems like such a cliche, right? But at the same time, it's a good one because you can make it really scary and dramatic without actually killing people. I just feel like, especially Johnny's group is doing that right now, and it, again, it's kind of a cliche that people do. I don't know how well received it would be. Oh. It was so pretty up here. Falls off. All serial killers are cliche. What do you mean? But I still, I want an interesting motivation, you know? And I don't necessarily want to kill people. I want to scare people. A simple message. A wild creature will always go back to the wild in the end. Weird. Is this how I got up here? Why does it look so much steeper? Character would have a fascination with a fight or flight response and wants to try and recreate that without getting their hands too dirty. It's pretty dirty to take someone and deliberately hunt them, though. Literally dirty, not metaphorically. I still don't see how that's... I don't see it. And the other problem is, I probably really couldn't stream this character. Like, I'm not accusing anyone in particular of things, but there's a lot of really miraculous things that happen that to streamed characters that don't happen to unstreamed characters, especially when everyone wants to get them. Oh, there's a reason Flick and Gekka don't stream certain characters. Yeah, no, 100%. YouTube only character? I'd have to get really dedicated to recording, which I guess I could do. I think I'd need to fine-tune my recording and make it better quality. Yeah. I can think about it, but it's a big ask. It's difficult. I'd have to really brainstorm. Give me time and I'll create a good enough serial killer story. I've done it a few times. Hey, I'll take input, but again, like, I don't want to be directly serial killing, you know? Like, I don't want to be... I want, you know, people could die. They could choose to die. But I don't necessarily want to be like, I'm just gratuitously torturing them either. Like, I don't like that. I want everything that's done to have a specific purpose, you know? And not just be killing people. But be scary, you know? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, basically adjacent. I want it to be something that people feel like they have a lot of leeway, and it's not like, ah, great, I got grabbed by the serial killer and not serial killed. Yeah, I want a thriller, not a slasher. You know, just something that's like... And it can be, I guess it can be cliche to a degree. You know how there's like that cozy cliche, you're like, wow, this person's really evil, but you like it because it's a familiar trope that like just, it's easy to be like, yes, that's the bad guy. You know, but there needs to be a human part too. Like there needs to be a reason that you might kind of sympathize with the bad guy, but not enough to justify what they're doing, just that you understand it a little bit. I am the worst person. I am the worst person to try and please for stuff like this. I really am. And I recognize that. I want the character's logic to be logical and consistent for whatever that character's worldview is. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if that's just because I think, like, I really try and apply logical consistency across everything that I do. You know, kind of like, say, I personally would not want to eat dog, but I can't say that there's anything morally wrong with it if I eat chickens and cows and pigs and everything, you know? Like, it would be wrong to take someone's pet and eat that pet. Honestly, you could pull off a creepy-sounding oddball that occasionally hunts people because they think it's a game. I don't know, I'd still have to find what logical process brings that character to that point. I'm that actor sitting there going, but what's my motivation? Oh, I'm such a nerd. A scared mental patient who was the daughter of a hunter who wanted a son and decided the only use for you was practice. That's horrible. But also, like, there becomes this weird, there's a weird area where Wild has some very specific rules. And if you bring up, you almost can't bring up childhood trauma causing anything. Because their rules are kind of weird. There's some very specific rules. Like, they don't want anything that sounds like child abuse being discussed in any way. So it's, you know, which obviously what shapes a lot of villainous characters, right? It's childhood traumas. So it makes it a weird spot to, like, even, I can't even really go into Sive's background anymore. Because her facial scarring happened when she was a kid and she watched her mother and her little sister die. Then Mother died at 18 and couldn't stop him anymore. Maybe Mother died and Father snapped. Yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, I was thinking, I still... I'd like to try playing a guy. But I get stage fright trying to show you guys the voice I'd go for. I don't know. I have to do it in my car. Driving alone in my car is how I develop new voices. Just talking to myself. I'll have to record it and listen to it on my phone and see if I hate it or not. Did I even check the board? I don't think so. I got distracted. Because it always comes out, okay, now that I've got a character, what voice are we using? And that gets complicated. I'm no RPer, but I'm the same way in my car driving by myself. Hey, I've gained confidence in all my crazy accents. Few times. Just in the car. There's like actually a lot of coal jobs right now. Not that I have coal. Could do the soft-spoken nice guy and then flips on them. Yes, but again, it's like, but why? Obviously, if a guy is like kind of a whispery, weak type character, it is easier to explain why they might lash out at the world. Playing RP on a server like Wild is probably great for confidence, but then you gotta be good at small talk. Huh? I am really bad at small talk. So, yes and no, but that's also part of my problem, right? Is I'm not, and I hate this. It's so frustrating, right? I'm not good about making the RP happen. It's really hard for me. It's a huge, it's a lot of pressure, and I really struggle to come up with original things to drive story. I'm much better at reacting. You know, I'm much better at reacting to what other people are doing and interacting with them for that. Yeah, but it just means that I get stuck kind of like this, you know, where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Where there's other people, you know, like say Graham, who would just be able to, he would just come up with something and he'd do it at expense of his character and stuff. And I don't have that kind of confidence and creativity. You know, there's just certain people that are never going, oh, I don't know what to do, and riding around aimlessly. They just are able to come up with something, and I admire that. This person binoing me.
Hello. Can't tell.
What?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
What's your name?
And what's your name?
Which I asked you first.
There's no rules saying that I have to answer then, I guess.
Fine, I'm Finn. What's your name?
Ruby.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh, Ruby, I met you with thieves that one time. Okay.
Which one time?
With Hathaway.
Oh, okay. Looking for someone?
No,
No, I just saw you. I just saw you by now. Me and I walked up, and then we started whispering to each other while walking closer.
Sorry.
We thought you were someone else.
We thought
I
you were
think.
someone
I
else.
mean,
Sorry
I sort
about
of
that.
gathered that.
Yeah.
No, this is awkward. Let's just go.
I forgot what's on there because they distracted me. Cardinal flowers? A Braithwaite? It's not bad, actually. Watch me be unable to find all that I need. Change the price of binoculars to $800, then... then everyone would be afraid to pull them out because they'd get robbed. Okay, maybe not $800, but like $100 or $200 maybe. Oh, that's hilarious. That's actually kind of a good idea in a way. The characters from a similar state was a ranger recruit. Returned home to find his parents had been hunted down by
does it have
some
horses?
people and decided to hunt them.
Horses!
And ended up liking it
all the
way too
horses.
much. I don't know. Just discovered that they're a psychopath. I'd like something more than the hunting people thing. Getting spikes of loud static. I'm sorry. Hopefully it doesn't. I'll move my phone slightly. I don't know what that would be. Did anyone else hear it? Only happened twice now. Is it happening right now? Cause like I don't know what it would be. 800 in 1903 is equivalent to almost 30,000. Yeah, but also we're not going by that at all. Because if we were, you know, a $30 horse would be a decent horse, right? Sorry guys, I wish I knew. My dad is not even in the state, so I know he's not playing with his ham radio, so he had to fly back home to... He flew back home to be with his dad because, his stepmom died. I guess my... step-grandmother. I didn't know her, though. She's who my grandpa married after my grandma passed away. I only met her a couple times. Seeing as they live over in Minnesota. But yeah, if you guys didn't know something about me, it's not really about me, I guess. But my my grandpa was a homicide detective with Minneapolis Police Department for many years. Cool. I'll be going to Minnesota next month. It was just interesting because I saw an opening at my local police department for something called a community service officer, who don't they're not like a regular police officer, but they do like crime scene photography and evidence collection and parking enforcement type things, which is really cool. But I don't think I would meet the qualifications. I take it you aren't actually Scottish then. Did you think that I was actually Scottish? I'm talking to you like this right now. They help with people locked out of their cars too. Yeah, it's just kind of like a general kind of public helping with non-emergency situations. Which, you know, honestly, kind of neat. I don't think that I could ever actually work as a law enforcement officer. Where are you from, Lightning? No gun, no. Yeah, well, that's I'm not. But surely they wouldn't have you be in a public-facing role but unarmed. Like, you'd still have, like, my state is constitutional carry. That would be pretty extreme if they have you out there on the streets interacting with people but not allow you to be armed while you're wearing, like, a uniform and stuff. Because that kind of makes you a target. You know? You just never be expected to engage, I would imagine. But I could be wrong. You get your nightstick and taser up here in the People's Republic of Minnesota. Oh boy. Well, I guess it's not constitutional. I don't know. You can open carry here without a license, but you can't conceal carry. I have my concealed carry permit through the same PD. You just have to go and get fingerprinted and background checked. Yeah, especially closer to the city. Yeah, I feel like that would be insane. Especially considering in the last week we have had multiple crazy shooting incidents in my area. Like, some kids rolled up in stolen Kias, and there was a whole shootout in a neighborhood 3 miles away from me. And then there was some other incident near where my brothers work, and they heard the gunshots. Someone holed up in their house after, I think he fired shots near the flight line for Boeing. Like, crime in this area is getting worse and worse. I need to be upping the protective measures. I've been seeing like 14, 15-year-olds, but yeah, honestly, most of the time we have huge issues with, I say kids because they're under 18, not killing, sorry, I'm thinking about a bird. Stealing Kias and stuff like that, because Kias are really easy to steal, and then using them in all sorts of crimes because they don't even get sent, they get released back to their parents. They don't even get taken to juvie a lot of the time, especially over just a robbery. So usually they go steal a Kia and then they drive it through a marijuana dispensary front window and then steal a bunch of stuff and leave. Or they steal, again, one of these Kias that they can do with a USB drive, and then they use that to carjack people and steal other cars. I've seen Kia owners literally booting their own cars. Prosecutors need to replace every... Yeah, no, it's bad. And there's thing, lots of times you'll have young people, again, you know, kids under 18 doing the crimes, but they're being used by adults, right? The adults, you know, drive the car and have the kid go steal the packages, kind of thing, because they know that the kid, you know, obviously they can get nailed for accomplice and stuff like that, but they know that the kid isn't gonna suffer the same consequences. Yeah. It's obviously a problem everywhere, but I'm just telling you about stuff that I can see actively happening in my own community right now. But yeah, just the other night I was playing and I heard a car code 3 really fast by my road, and I'm like, huh, that's odd. Just right outside my window. And then later, yeah, hear that, again, some kids, I don't know, some youths, I guess. the youths. Had followed someone home, I guess, and then tried to carjack them or something. And the homeowner was armed. And there ended up being a shootout. And 3 of them got away. It was 3 suspects, I guess. They had the dogs out. They were all hunting and using drones and stuff to try and find this person. They found one of them suffering from a GSW several blocks away, but the other two got away. It's like clockwork here just north of Minneapolis, 5 p.m. and the sirens start and don't stop until after 1 a.m. That's so sad. Yeah, no, it's I definitely have family who still live around there, and I've heard some things. Helicopter light shine across my window. Yeah, well, my dad yelled at us once because I think like the garage door was left open or something. The side garage door that we take the dogs out through was left unlocked, and I guess the wind popped it up or something. He went down to close it, but there was cops in our yard clearing our yard with their guns drawn. Yeah, that's basically what I've heard, Midwest. Well, we had CHOP in Seattle. We had an entire segment of Seattle revert into pure anarchy, where people got murdered and stuff in there. Kids got murdered. Like, it's just bad. Yeah, I remember a couple years ago they had warnings that riots, like they said these riots are gonna come through here, and so one of the local cities, people went and parked their box trucks in front of all the historical buildings, in front of the plate glass, to keep the windows from being broken. And people went and exercised their right to open carry. And suddenly the rioters didn't show up. Man, Seattle's so sad. It used to be such a cool place. You know, it used to be, you know, if people came to visit, you'd be like, yeah, let's go down to Pike Street. You know, show you Seattle. Go walk around the city center, see what's left over from the Chicago, or not the Chicago, from the 1962 World's Fair. Yeah, you gotta worry about the copper thieves and the catalytic converter thieves here, folk. You know, what's really funny? What's really funny is I've shown like Cronus a few pictures of places where I'm walking my dogs. And he goes, you know, if you didn't tell me, I would think that was in the UK. And today I sent him 2 pictures, and they were both literally half a block from one another, and I said UK, USA, or GTA. And the first picture of a little brick house, he said UK, and the second one, he said GTA. It's like pretty much. No, I haven't gotten to go down to Seattle much lately. The last time I intentionally went to Seattle was like back in 2016, 2017, I guess. And that was to go to Century Ballroom because they had the swing dancing classes at 9 p.m. on Sundays. I don't know if they still do that since COVID. But you go down there and like pay $9 and swing dance. I actually met what's her name? Norma, the queen of Lindy Hop. What was her name? She passed away recently. Gotta look it up. Norma Miller. I met Norma Miller there. She was like a special guest. But she's like the queen of Lindy Bop swing. Like, she's famous. That's probably the most famous person I've ever met, Norma Miller. It's crazy. She was born in 1919, guys. You want to talk to someone who's seen the world change. Seattle music in the 90s. Yeah, I was only born at the beginning of the 90s. I didn't get to engage in that. Yeah, no, Seattle used to be great. It used to be great. And now you go down there, you're just dodging slums. They want you to pay for parking everywhere. Really expensive. Or pay the guy that says, you know, this is a bad area. You know, if you might get your car broken into, but you know, give me some money and I'll keep an eye on it for you. Dodging the needles, yeah. Yeah. See, that's funny. My dad moved from Minnesota to Washington. If you really think about it, there's a generation that saw/heard about the first flight and lived to see that first space flight. Yeah, lived to see us go to the moon. That's what's crazy, Harris. Like the jumps in technology that have been made. You know, I've looked at a lot of stuff, and honestly, life in the 30s wasn't that different from life in the 60s and 70s even. You know, like there was advancements in technology, more people had cars, you know, television came along at the very end of that period. But the spread of information was still slow compared to what it is today. You know, like something happens on the other side of the world and we know about it in intimate detail and can watch it happen live. A computer technician that worked on the factory-sized PCs to using more powerful cell phones. Yeah, no, it's insane. It's insane. I mean, even just you know, we have some dogs, right, that passed away like within the last 5 years. I remember sitting in the car while my parents went inside the Sprint store to get our first cell phones that were, you know, like little Nokia bricks. And that's when I was sitting in the car with those dogs, and those dogs were puppies. And by the time we had to say goodbye to those dogs, we had full-on smartphones, computers in our pockets. I mean, I'd argue even what us 90s kids have seen in terms of technological advancement has been pretty insane. I had the LG, my first cell phone that I got to carry personally was when I was 16, and it was an LG Rumor slide phone. Had the slide out QWERTY keyboard, which is pretty nice. Yesterday I found a Windows 98 disk with a key. Hey, back alley. This is such a cool drive right here. It's cool as it's based on a real place. Should I clean my gun right behind her?
Hello?
Hello?
You know, I'm just...
Oh, excuse me? Why are you pulling a gun? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? You just came behind me at the telegrams and pulled out yours.
I was checking it over.
Right. But you see how that looks like a tiny bit...
It's a varmint rifle, ma'am.
That's dangerous.
Did I point it
It's
at
all-
anyone?
No, but who does that? You just walk up behind somebody and check your gun.
I was checking
Obviously, that's going to make people...
telegrams.
Yeah, with the gun in your hand.
I don't know, I'm not that jumpy. Sorry.
Okay, well, yeah, that's alright. Sorry I pulled my gun, just worried. Take care.
Ruby doesn't really rob people right now. So she not a lot. Oh man, it's so fun. Yep. What was the point? I've already got a DM. Let's see. Nah. Could have had an accidental discharge and shot her right in the butt. No! That's terrible. And then I would absolutely get arrested. She would have to arrest me. That's naughty. Oops. Didn't have to run. Yeah, but why would I do that, Humble? I have to have a reason. I have to have a reason for that kind of stuff. I have to have a reason. Ruby the Black Hats, including Lola later. Should have seen what I did at this deputy earlier. In my defense, I didn't know she was a deputy. Don't worry, officer. Just making sure my trigger works. Thanks for testing it. Oh, it was like yesterday or something. I was doing a shine run with Sive, and Norman just spawned in right next to everything, and I said, "Yeah, don't take my my job. I'm about to do it." And he's like, "Oh, I do have some moonshine with me." And I said, I pulled out my gun. I said, "I'm really not joking around." And he goes, "Well, if you're pulling out your weapon, miss, you best be prepared to use it." I told him, "Stop pointing it. I'm just letting you know I'm serious." And then I left. I went back inside to brew more shine and he disappeared. Look at this guy. Red and black, red and black. She's always being kidnapped. Nah, as funny as it would be, guys, I just don't have a reason to do it. Oh, Norman and Sive, Scottish versus Irish. No, he messaged me afterwards calling me a butt, and I said, and then he's like, I was kind of waiting to see what happened, but I didn't try anything because of crossover. And I said, similarly, I would have loved to kidnap you and force you to complete the moonshine run, but crossover. Waiting for Sive to rob or kidnap Gio. Oh man, that is the goal. Kidnap Gio, make Gio do the moonshine run. Oh, that would be great. He's got to be alone. Oh, you're so funny. Oh man, I want to do that so badly. And I can just telegram him directly and be like, hey, you around? What you up to, Geo? And just like trade snarky back and forth so that he's constantly going to the telegram station and just kidnap him from a telegram station. Just have to stake out the city. I hope it's the Blackwater telegram station. Well, I think he technically operates out of Rhodes. What he told me is correct. He would deserve it too. Did you know that when I saw that he was on Geo, I went to DM him. It was Baba. I DM'd him. And I looked. Okay. We're fine. I DM'd him, and our last conversation had been him DMing me, you want knives? And me going, it's fine. because he had been a Del Lobo, and that's when Saffron bumped into the entire group alone as Law, and they handcuffed her and then threw throwing knives into her legs and left her out there. That's the last time we had DM'd. It's just this, you want knives? To get consent to be cruel. I don't know for sure, Midwest. Yep, had to walk handcuffed to Strawberry at night with a throwing knife stuck in her leg. Time for payback. Except for Sai wouldn't be that mean. Hey, I got a new employee! Well, she didn't run, Rainbow, and I RP'd that it was actually stuck in her, in the bone of her thigh. Like in her femur. It was stuck in her femur. In fact, the tip broke off. The doctor who treated her was really rushed and wasn't very detailed in the treatment. And so, yeah, the tip broke off. I'm here to bother you again about accents. How do you learn accents? YouTube videos or TV shows? I'm trying to learn Irish right now. I used YouTube videos, but also I had an Irish person who was angrily DMing me. Okay. Angrily DMing me anytime I messed up my pronunciation. So that, you know, find yourself an angry Irish person. You gotta do a couple things, right? You gotta figure out what Irish accent you want, because there's many. And then I found a comedian, a female comedian, because I'm female. So if you're, you know, guy or girl, you probably want to pick someone who matches what you want to emulate. Found a female comedian from a town that had the accent that I wanted to emulate. And then I practiced saying things exactly how she said things. You have an angry French woman to help you with French. Yes, I could. That's a, oh man. So, that's one way. For Scottish, I just like, I'm gonna do a Scottish accent, and I did a Scottish accent, and then real Scottish people were like, where in Scotland are you from? Which was not a thing. I I can't even remember. I think I looked up some things. But maybe not. Maybe I just read something about Scots. I don't know. I didn't really do much. I know for my Aussie accent, I just tried to get the vowels. I watched some videos about how to do it, and then I tried to get the vowels right, and then I read a Wikipedia page about Australian history in 1900, like early 1900, out loud using my accent.
10 minutes ago.
That is something though with the Scottish accent, right? Is that I actually I tuned where my character was from according to feedback that I got about the accent from real Scottish. I wouldn't be able to tell you, SVL. I'll say it was incredibly difficult to learn. It was very difficult for me to learn. I think it's really hard to do it believably without making it a caricature of the accent, you know? But that's for all accents. Oh, well, Summer's gonna make me go into it. But the thing is, mine's actually changed over time. Like, I've been told that it's a very northern accent now. And unfortunately, I think that's because the northern accent's a lot more like my American accent. And a lot of the vowels and stuff like that. So I think I've sort of lost my identity as far as I think I've sort of lost my identity. Well, I would say I do a wee bit of research then, Asfiel. I'd look up where Sean is supposed to be. And then try and find a female native speaker, who has YouTube videos and just try and copy her accent. You know, that might mean you just sit there and you listen to her say a word or two, like a phrase or something. And then there's something that I found that really helps me out when I'm trying to learn an accent, right? Is I find a phrase that has all the hallmarks that help me figure out that accent. And I say that phrase. It's like a key, right? Because really what you're doing with it when you're learning an accent, you're learning a particular posture to set your mouth in. Your mouth and your tongue and your throat and everything. You're finding that posture, and then everything that you say is filtered through that. It's filtered through that. And I'm not going as high as I should be with this accent right now because I'm tired and because my throat's messed up from having a cold. Yeah. Having a hard time with that. Watched Braveheart when I was younger. Came out of the movie with the accent. I hear it a few times and I can emulate it rather well. Enough for gaming anyway. I find the Scottish to be pretty easy to do. And I really love doing it. Like, I just wish that's how I talked. I think it would sound far better than whatever this says. The old general American accent, Seattle accent. Well, guys, I think once I reach Blackwater, I'll probably call it for the night because this has been a just chatting stream with horse riding and bird killing, pretty much. My basic American accent too. It's just so boring. There's nothing interesting about it. It's just as flat and dry as it can be. I picked up the Minnesota accent since living here. I call my stepdad back home and he starts giving me crap. Oh yeah, sure, you betcha, don't you know? Yeah, I'm gonna go over there to Minnesota and Minnesota. Might stop through North Dakota. That's the thing though, is the Minnesota Midwest accent is heavily influenced by both Scandinavian and Irish. It's so funny. It's really sub-Canadian. Oh my goodness, it's rabbit. Oh, to be fair, server's been kind of slow the last couple of days, minus a select few shootouts. Irish around St. Paul. Yeah. It was a pleasure speaking with you and everyone in this chat this fine evening. I wish you good night. Sleep well when you get. I'll get there. 7 a.m. comes much too early for this old man. Night, Midwest. May I ask what a soda or pop can is made of in your town? It's made of aluminum, Grayling. I'm not an actual European who would say aluminium. Aluminium. I can't even say it. Aluminium. Although some say aluminum, which I can't contest. But what's funny is I have seen a book, and I can't remember which one, but it was a book by a British author, and they had spelled it aluminum and aluminium, adding that extra I. They had spelled it both ways in the same sentence, which was really funny. That's all right. You know, I ask people those sorts of questions too because I'm curious and it's entertaining to me. There's an English guy I knew, and I was talking to a Scottish friend, and she said something, and so I wanted to see if he pronounced it the same way. So I went over and I said, Ian, what do you call that system that you use to breathe? Your upper what system? And he sighed heavily, and he rolled his eyes back in his head, and he goes, respiratory. Instead of respiratory. Yeah, when I was in Nepal, I was there with a very, very British man and a insanely Glaswegian Scot woman. You know, I think she was in part a inspiration for Saffron because she was very short Scottish woman. Short and feisty. I'll never forget a friend jump scaring her while we were climbing through Iao Valley in Maui. He just like swung down from a tree and screamed at her, and she screamed back, and she was screaming, but it went from terror to rage. Actually, same friend scared me like that. I was going down the stairwell at work, and it was an open stairwell, like, you know, wood steps, but an echoey, dark stairwell. And he hid underneath the stairs, and he grabbed my ankle as I was going down the stairs. I screamed so loud that the ladies working in the cafe downstairs came out to see if someone was getting murdered. And then my friend from San Francisco said that I should record my scream and sell it because it would be perfect for movies. And now look how I entertain you all by doing stuff where I end up screaming. Well, guys, I am gonna end stream because it's quiet. Your screams from Lethal Company still grade A screams, that's for sure. You guys are ridiculous. That stuff just happens though. It's not like we asked for it. There's some of you that asked for it. You know who you are. Rainbow knows who they are. I'm gonna raid Scarlet just to mess with her. Also, I think she might have switched over to Lola, but whelp. Oh my goodness, Twitch. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. It's so nice to have people to chat with when stuff is slow. I super appreciate it. Go say hi to... Yeah, I know she was planning on getting on Lola later, but I have work in the morning. It's a long day and glass class. So, I should end now. Anyways, y'all have a good night.